Hello everyone, Mads here, aka, I guess in the title of this, an artist, if you will. And today I'm going to be looking at the brand new Mario and Luigi trailer for the Nintendo Switch, because this game looks absolutely fantastic. I think it was like my favorite game shown off in the Direct. And it's so unique as a Mario game in its visuals. I thought, what better thing to do than to analyze it with that sort of knowledge in mind. So I want to go through like frame by frame, see what we have in terms of this game and this 2 minutes and 10 seconds we have, and see if we find any cool insights and see if I can make you guys appreciate what's going on here more. So without further ado, let's begin. So first off, a little bit of like bouncing, squashing, and stretching with the leaves going on in the bushes. Quite fun. Obviously, there's these little set explosions done for a group of leaves, and who comes out? Oh, it's Luigi! And look at this. Boom! He's so cool. Is that all I'm going to be saying? Oh, Luigi's so cool. Yeah, he's going to be quite casual today, guys, if you can tell already. But, yeah, I mean, Luigi's design, first and foremost, looks pretty cool. And this immediately gave away the fact that this is a Mario and Luigi game, just in terms of the style. It is slightly different to previous Mario and Luigi character designs, though. Like, if you compare how Luigi looks here to how, and Mario compared to, like, the previous games, especially the last two, on 3DS, like they had a very clear like lineless look to them. These games go for a full-on like silhouette around the characters and a more saturated world overall. I think this is like the most saturated the Mushroom Kingdom has looked in a long time. Just look how bright the green is on the ground, and even Luigi himself. And because of that, I take it they've decided to go with a cel-shaded sort of like black outline. So I don't even think it's a black outline. I think it's like it changes depending on the material, maybe. Like sometimes it's black, sometimes it's not. But regardless, there is an outline around our two protagonists. And I think all the characters have these outlines, or any objects of interest. And this is probably just because of especially with a lot of green here. You don't want Luigi to be confused with the rest of the environment. Like I can imagine, it almost like Smash Bros in a lot of ways. It's the same reason why Smash Bros 3DS had black outlines around the character. And I've seen people make a lot of comparisons to Smash 3DS with this game in regards to that. But it has a really like nice look, and I think it works well in terms of the scaling as well, where if the camera is panned out like this, you can still very clearly see where the character is. And it makes it feel almost like the original DS and GBA game versus the 3DS ports with the lineless, and I quite like it. It's pretty nice. It's grown on me. It definitely initially, I think it's just so different. It doesn't really, it took a while basically, but no, I really like it. I think it's a good stylistic choice. Obviously I do think, is it maybe too saturated? Possibly. But I think that's such a silly little like dumb complaint. It doesn't even matter. We also have really nice gradients on the characters, from top to bottom, in terms of like Luigi's outfit has this texture painted gradient on his overalls. Same with Mario, with the back of his hat being this purple shade and purple hue. And it really drives home the initial art style created for this game series, which I think is super cool. And especially, let's just talk about the animation here, because just look how expressive Luigi is. I think I've ever gone into it. Oh, just for framing, the use of squash and stretch, obviously, across the entire thing. We've got an overshoot here of Luigi for his action, wind up. Great framing. Obviously, this is, again, the opening cutscene, I imagine, for the game. But as you saw later in the trailer, it doesn't even matter if it's a cutscene or if it's gameplay, because the animation is still crazy on point. I will say, like, at this point at least, especially watching this back over and over again, I will say that, like, you just, it's like very Looney Tunes. Very like classic slapstick animation with how it's done, which again is fitting for Mario and Luigi, and I think it's always had that. So the way they've been able to like incorporate the way the animation was and what everyone loved from Mario and Luigi into 3D like this is really impressive and cool. And even the changing of, I'm assuming this is a changing head models or just changing some sort of texture out, and keyframing it to the points gives Luigi like this variety of different expressions, such as like, I call this like the anxious lines or whatever, or like the sweat lines, and that works really well for the scene. I like this as well, where Mario is always behind looking at Luigi. Like you can see here, he sees Luigi, he's freaked out. Luigi already starts moving. By the time he's already moving, Mario's like twisting around to try and see him. sees him for a second, he starts moving again. He's like, no, wait, stop, Luigi. Until Luigi runs past Mario, puts Mario into a bit of a bit off balance. And we have one of like Luigi's like classic sort of like little run animations where he's like wobbling behind, his head's like pulled back. Really shows off his character in all of this. I don't know why he's getting chased by bees. If we figure that out, yeah, and look, these bees just fly off at the end anyway, but I don't give a shit. Like, all right, bye, Luigi. And again, if it wasn't obvious of the, like, I guess, no, I'm not going to say the inspiration, but, like, the Hanna-Barbera almost, like, Looney Tunes style of animation and old Scooby-Doo. Like, just look at this. This is, like, straight out of Flintstones in terms of, like, Luigi falling like that. Like, huh? Wait a sec. Really, really, really fun. We even have a good use of spacing here as Mario, like, leaps towards Luigi. Almost, like, I'm not going to say anime inspired, but in terms of the skipping across to get there really fast, works really well to make the scene extra dramatic. As you can tell already, like in terms of the way this game is showcased in its animation and even like character design to a certain extent, it really does break the rules in terms of like what Mario is usually. You know what I mean? It really shows that whichever team is behind this, I don't think we know yet still, is really just giving it their all and really, really having fun with it versus these strict guidelines of what to follow, of what counts as Mario, which is the best outcome we could possibly have for video games in general. Like, you know, let the artists express themselves. And it's pretty cool that Nintendo are finally giving people that reign with Mario and Luigi again. Do you remember back in like 2012, they said that Mario wasn't a plumber anymore? He was just Mario. I'm glad that's not the case anymore. But anyways, yeah, here we see them like after Mario grabs Luigi, and you can even see like the stretch of his arm here. Like that feels, obviously Mario's arm is going off model here a little bit. At least it looks like it. You can see it's pulling out and stretching like that. And again, this is a really good showcase of the use of gradients, which I was talking about earlier with the texture work, the texture painting. As it goes towards their cuffs, you can see that there's the same purple which is at the back of their hats, and it looks so good. Really, really fun. And yeah, for some reason their gloves start glowing. I don't know if that's from the bees or what happened here. But again, the facial expression just shows off their emotions so well. Especially like looking at Luigi here, it almost looks 2D in its aesthetic. Just in terms of how his eyes are, really, really cool. And again, the secondary animation on like Luigi's hat and its use of like overlap and follow through. It's so pretty. We pan the camera up, and then it reveals there's a big explosion of something. We have no idea what it really is. I think it's a portal or something. That's probably a portal. Yeah, it's clearly a portal. They get pulled into a portal, I'm assuming. Yes, definitely they're getting pulled into a portal. And again, the visuals on like even this looks super cool. The special effects on display and just again the use of colors and stuff is so gorgeous. Pan over to the little logo, and even this, the logo is slightly updated, I would say. I think the colors are just a lot more pastel, I believe, versus the original. I think the other one was a bit more closer to regular red and green, if I'm not mistaken. And they also have this really fun gradient underneath. It's a very, I love logo design and I love graphic design, so this wins it all. This wins it all, guys. You can even see like almost in some ways, especially with the letters overlapping, like the L and the O and the M right here, it sort of follows the same sort of main character aspect of Mario and Luigi with the outlines, and carries that over in terms of the logo design. And you can even see that clearly with the gradients going on with the letters as well following that. Really clever to sort of have that, whether that was intentional or not. It does add a bit of cohesion to those being the main characters and also the logo with Mario and Luigi focusing on that. I don't know. Does that make sense? Not sure. And even like this, the little animation of like the Mario and Luigi bouncing up at the top is super cute. A little bit of squash and scratch with them. Bounce down. Very nice. And now we go to some actual gameplay of them running around, and you can see immediately this brand new movement animation for both of them is very reminiscent of the previous games. And you can see this very clearly with the way Luigi's, again, walking back with his chin behind, and Mario's walking a lot more confidently like he did in the previous games. And even the environment design for this world looks so beautiful, and I think it's definitely them trying to lean into that hand painterly look, especially like looking at the clouds. Looking at the skyline looks very I know it's easy to say that, Studio Ghibli-esque, but it feels like very, again, like cartoony anime, sort of painterly with how it's showcasing its skyline, which is really beautiful. You know, it seems like every character in this world, at least, is having those dark outlines, because we can see those birds. I believe they're birds out in the distance. They are like not moving, so it's like, could they be birds? I think they are. One appears to disappear out of the scene. And then this character we have, I can't remember, I think her name's Connie. all have these looks. And even like the grass here again, like even I think it was just for Mushroom Kingdom for some reason, but the grass here seems slightly less saturated and works better for Mario and Luigi, I think. But yeah, the world design looks so gorgeous. Even design of these trees, which are supposed to like look like wire coils, I'm assuming, because of the way the world's been built. With like all these like electricity type characters, works really well. The water shading again feels very painterly and very like Blender anime water tutorial sort of vibe. I don't know how to. I could try and recreate that maybe. I don't know why. I don't know if it would look as good, but yeah, pretty gorgeous. I can feel like some people might say that it looks too cluttered. Or there's too much going on in the scene where the focal points aren't as much of a focus. But again, it's like, I think that's not that many people will say that, and also the outlines really allow the game designers and the world designers to really go the extra mile in designing things without the worry of like clarity as much. Like obviously they're still going to keep it in mind in terms of knowing where the player is. And it's very clear and very well done in the battle scenes, as we'll see in this next scene. Obviously, we have these coils, and it feels almost like Miitopia right now in the way this background setup with the first world from there. I don't know why, just like light blues for like first worlds, quote unquote, just works so well now. I don't know, like I feel like a very easy way of making like the world 1 less boring is to just inject some blue into its color palette. Like even it just makes everything feel like Minecraft Aether, if anyone remembers that. And this is our first introduction to 2 new enemies with this little warthog character and this little like flower sort of vine creature. I don't think either one of them is like insanely crazy designed, but also again they're supposed to be like basic enemies you find in the first world. I do really like, and we'll get on to another character like this later on, but I do really like how these little pigs have, I guess like quote-unquote Battletoad eyes, but more so like Donkey Kong eyes, with the huge brows and the black space. Like, that's a very like classic eye shape for Mario enemies, and I think it really pulls out well. And even if you look at the design in terms of like the electricity theme, they almost look like sparks or like electric sparks in the color palette and stuff, so that's really fitting. In terms of the little plant guy we have here, I can't think off the top of my head how it would relate to electricity in some way. Maybe one of you guys would know. Maybe it's supposed to be wires. I'm not really sure, but I like so far that there has always been like some sort of link to electricity. But let's stop talking about these character designs and look at Mario and Luigi here in terms of the animation. We have some motion lines, which really help drive a point. And you can see a lot of these sort of stylistic effects, like even there with Luigi's smoke behind him as he's running. It's a really fun way to accent animations to make them feel more impactful. And the team here is just pulling out every stop to making these designs, getting everything out of these Mario and Luigi models in like so many cool ways. Yeah, and as we can see here, Mario jumps, he goes for a jump. There's a lot of squash and stretch, a crazy amount of squash and stretch compared to any other like Mario game in recent memory. You can see really fun where he's all squished, and then he's coming down, goes about his regular model size, hops down, and we can see the follow through of the motion lines, then a big explosion of effects to really drive home the point of the hit, and then Mario goes rolling back almost like Sonic the Hedgehog with an extra accent line of almost like this of white compared to black to almost accent it as like fully charged almost. And whilst that's happening, there's so much going on in just like one piece of animation. You can see Luigi is also running back, goes for a halt, this very fun spot, goes for this huge leap like a frog almost, does a bit of a handstand, rolls back. Just look at the amount of detail going into that. Rolls onto his back, gets ready for Mario, anticipates him, pushes up, leads him up into the air, flies back, and then leads to the finishing blow. But it's like, let's just watch that back in real time because it is so cool. Boom. Oh, you can just tell how satisfying that looks. And that's probably just like the default attack, you know what I mean? Super cute. And again, more use of motion lines here, but obviously to sort of showcase that it's wind or that they're moving in the air. Light blues and whites are used, which is quite fun. A good use of it. And you can even see Mario's mustache just getting yanked down as he's going flying into the air. So it seems like even if the models are staying on model and not really squashing and stretching in certain scenes or as extremely, they'll do other things to accent the animation, like again Mario's mustache. And I'm sure Luigi's mustache does the same. Yeah, it does. You can see it like for a few scenes right there. I think this is a point where you can definitely showcase or see at least that key items alongside characters have these black outlines. because this platform has it, this little statue has it, that little block in the back, that gem. And I think that's another really, really cool way of showcasing what the player needs to do, especially in a world that might have a lot going on. And this even applies to the shadows, because if you look at Mario, Luigi, the two little seesaws, and the key items, all of them have just a straightforward, straight down shadow to them all, whilst the rest of the world is obviously having the sun come in from the right-hand side right in the scene. And we can see that here as well, that the light and the shadows is different for any key characters. And this is obviously done for gameplay, right? To make it easier. But because they've made every character and every block have that, except for the environments, it feels a lot more cohesive, and I think it works a lot better. But let's get onto this scene. Like, look, this is our first look at a Mario and Luigi town in this game, and again, very clearly the technology or like the electricity circuit system sort of vibe they're going for is very clear here, as we see like spirals of wires going up. The little lanterns, we have wires for the side of the bench, and of course we have all these little socket homes, I'm assuming they're homes or buildings, with different outlets throughout them. The use of making characters out of outlets, just turning outlets into eyes, is such a good, fun, and like, not gonna say easy, but it's like one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, of course it looks like a face. How many times have you seen an outlet when you're a kid, especially, like, oh, look, this little face. And some of these character designs we have so far look really, really fun. Some of them have little, like, I think the ones which have the orange bows are part of Peach's, like, pirate ship theme or like part of her team or something, but it seems like there's a lot of variety in terms of the character designs, where even compared to like previous games where it's just all Toads, these guys at least aren't all just like one kind of plug, if that makes sense. There's a lot of variety of the character designs. There's a little scene we get of Mario and Luigi doing little flips, and you could even see here the more uses of motion lines and follow through and all that stuff, and little special effects here and there. And even this, like, it's very simple obviously, but the fact that it's like goes to Mario and Luigi and each of them are like holding each other is very, very fun. And their leaping pose keyframes really fun. Again, the same use of like the rolls with the whites to sort of showcase that it's like, okay, something's about to happen. I think they must be using like the white outlines to almost, that you should be alert of what's about to happen, versus the black outlines, which I think are more so like just for style or to show the arcs you're following. Here we see a close-up of Connie, I think her name is. Yep. And we see a lot of fun little animation here on display. We have little flowers floating back and forth, Mario and Luigi thinking, and also we have like a small idol here. We see a little bit of their idol here. Connie's design super, super cute, super fun. Obviously, again, like an outlet in terms of her face, but then she has a little hat with the plugs for it. Very, very simple shapes, but such a cute and fun design. And also the fact that like the wire coming out of it is tied into a bow. Like, come on, that's so cute. And even we see here just more examples of technology fused with, almost like electricity fused with nature in a positive way, or like in a natural occurring way, where we have these light bulbs resting from a tree, and some more examples I'm sure we'll see later throughout the trailer. This pose of Luigi looks like straight out of a cartoon. It looks so, so good. And if it wasn't clear already, or if you guys couldn't tell, it seems like the game is going to be hopping across different islands, and that's going to be like the main way of progressing the chapters, I'm assuming, for this game. Here we have Snoutlet, which isn't a pig. Apologies for assuming that beforehand. But obviously it's based off like the flying piggy bank from Terraria. that's what I'm assuming. But this is going to be, I guess, your little partner guy for the experience, which is pretty fun. We have Mario. Oh, we also see a little save block. But look, we have more little emoticons of like them sweating or freaking out. It's just really, really fun. And what they probably have is they probably have like a big collection of these little frame-by-frame animations or whatever, which can place like little emoticons across the entire game. And then it's just like, okay, let's play here, let's play there. So let's probably see this little animation of little teardrops appear out of shock throughout the entire story whenever like something fun happens. But I think that's like just a really fun way of like quote-unquote recycling animations and stuff. It's just, you build up a library, keep reusing them, and just make them really, really high quality, which just seems to be what this game is. Like, I don't mind if I can rewatch these animations like a million times. But anyways, they get pushed into this little cannon, and they get a bit of squash and stretch with the cannon as well, which is pretty fun, pretty cute. More motion lines, more effects. They get shot off into the sky. Speed lines, of course, to showcase speed. I use these in thumbnails a lot. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed. That's a really good way of just like showcasing like motion, I guess, or faking motion, is using these speed lines. And the fact that it only comes in as they start flying in really pushes the fact of like they're falling, you know, Cut to the scene. We obviously get a showcase of personality again as Mario managed to land it easily. Luigi obviously doesn't really make the landing as imagined. And that's even just implied. We don't even see Luigi fall off screen. We just have shaking of the screen and Mario's emotion be able to tell us everything we need to know before it's revealed, which is super fun. And even look at this, like Luigi's foot twitching. It's like crazy attention to detail. Here's our first look at some enemies of this game. What are these guys called? The Extension Core. That is so good. Character design wise, these are so fun. And they, again, carry over that unique eye shape showcased in a lot of Mario and Luigi games. It's usually like the final boss or, you know, or there's a lot of characters that have like this sort of visual, even like the Dark Star from Bowser's Inside Story, I'm pretty sure has eyes similar to this. It's very nice for them to be able to have like a collection of pre-established aesthetics where they can like, oh, we can pull this and create a new character that looks like it fits in this world immediately. It really goes to show how like stylistic and cool the world of Mario and Luigi is. And again, these characters look so awesome. Obviously, we have this guy on the left, which is a UV cable with little like twisty things. Super cute to have that be his design. This guy, I'm pretty sure, is a audio jack, and that might, you know, link to his attacks in some way. Maybe he uses some sort of like audio thing. I doubt it would be a thing of like, oh, you have to play, you have to mute your device at this time, blah, blah, blah. I doubt it would be anything like that, but still really fun. This guy on the right, I'm not 100% sure on what he is. If anyone knows in the comments, be sure to let us know. But again, he has a little cape and stuff floating around. Pretty fun. Another enemy we have, and of course, we see the hammers for the first time in the trailer. Again, these animations are just as good as Luigi winds up, gives us the anticipation, shoots off Mario, boom, or I should say kaboom, with a kaboom attack. Super fun in motion. And again, the music on display, the little visuals of the stars, everything works so good. Here's a first look at the little audio guy as he goes flying in on a little bulb before getting attacked by Luigi. And here we have a very Donkey Kong looking character named Garumbler. Obviously, it's supposed to be like a gorilla and rubble, I'm assuming, or something like that. He seems kind of fun. I don't really see any electricity theme with him, which is kind of cool to know that we're not just having like one sort of theme for everything. There's going to be variety in regards to like different societies and different tribes and stuff versus just one. The UI here looks very clean, but also not too boring. The font they're using for Emergency Guard here, and I think for A and B, is the Animal Crossing font, or it's a font which they use in Animal Crossing a lot. Not sure what the font at the bottom is for the numbers. If I could guess, maybe something from a previous Mario game or a previous Mario and Luigi game. But yeah, very clean, very simple, and again, the lack of, or I should say, the abundance of real estate on being on a wider system with a bigger screen means that, again, you can just have so much more of the space used for action. And we can see some really cool animations with this guy's attacks. Bit more UI as we go into this scene, and introduced to a new environment, which seems to be like a lava and ice sort of location, which is always a fun thing to do. Instead of just giving us a lava world, giving us a lava and ice world. And that was done a lot in Mario Galaxy or Mario Galaxy 2. It was really fun. And we see our first like bro transform move. I can't remember what they called it exactly, but there's obviously this little indication of them doing it with this little animation of him high-fiving with this explosion little visual effect. And I'm sure we'll get that every time we do a bro move or like a bro-related like move. They almost also hold each other like they're about to enter into ballet or to do a dance, which is kind of fun. And then they start swinging each other. Well, Mario starts swinging Luigi more so. And we get an immediate transformation with an explosion of Luigi's eyes here. You can see Mario looks very calm. Luigi's gone sort of crazy. And we can even see that Mario's little overall buttons are like the little like eyes for the UFO, and then Luigi's have become the little UFO flying saucer like balls at the bottom, which is a fun visual to see. And again, similar to when they were flying off of the pedals, they have these little spirals going around them with like white and blue to indicate that, oh, we're, you know, flying or whatever. Kind of fun. Showing us a brand new environment here. Seems to be some sort of city or some sort of location. We have another NPC here and another NPC here, I believe. Give us just more variety in characters. It also appears to be one of those enemy, the little wood characters over here. And And this really showcases the use of the black outlines. As Mario goes up, you can still very clearly see where Mario and Luigi are, even though it's very, very zoomed out. Also a bit of a pop in with the characters disappearing, but who cares? It's fine. We still have Mario and Luigi. Now, this appears to be a good use of replicating the use of dual screens on DS by having this mini screen appear in the top right of Luigi standing still. Sort of funny that we're still using a system of dual screens even without dual screens. And now this is a little animation which people have been freaking out about on Twitter. Luigi's spinning around lost in thought. All of a sudden has an idea, but back goes from this looming little like green swirl into an explosion of aha, eureka, and we have this fun looking L-shaped exclamation mark. Look how fun Luigi looks. And we also even like, look at this, like as soon as he has his idea, his hat flies off of him, shows his little hairs for a second, and then goes back on. Again, it's like just little accents of animation and secondary animations here and there really adds so much to it. I'm showcasing for L. Yeah, it's so fun. Snap. Boom. Like those two poses. Oh, it works. It's so good. Luigi looks so good in this game. I'm so excited. Here's a fun little mini game which was done a lot in the previous games, especially in like Bowser's body when you were doing the little mini games. This is very similar to one of those. Obviously in a 3D space here we seem. And it still reigns true that any points of interest, like these exclamation marks, these little flowers, all have those outlines around. We then have a look of Peach and her team of Wind Waker pirates with little spirals on their chest. They all seem to have like these little ribbons, which makes you think that she's part of this crew and is going on like her own little adventure with these guys, which is pretty fun. There seems to be some sort of cooking mechanic, I'm assuming here, because there seems to be a pot behind. I'm assuming Mario and Luigi just ate it, as well as the Snoutlet, and then they're like very, very happy with I don't know what's it mean? Ravioli, maybe? I don't know. Very excited by that. Just to be clear, I ain't a pig. I got that wrong initially. Another look of Connie with a little watering can, which is quite cool. Our first look of Bowser in this art style, or this new art style. Bowser's always looked kind of weird in this art style. He looked like really good in Bowser's Inside Story, but in all the other games, he's kind of strange in my opinion. He's only looked really, really good in Bowser's Inside Story. But here he looks pretty good. So, like, in terms of like transitioning to 3D in that art style, this seems to hold him pretty well. Doesn't seem like his head is like too small or too big, because it was like extra. They made it extra small for some reason in the remake of Bowser's Inside Story, but that doesn't seem to be the case here. Cool to see that he's in the game still, of course. I mean, it's Bowser, and we get an introduction of, I guess, the main antagonist, the main villain of this game, who has these cords coming out of his hat. And apart from that, I don't really know much else about him. But his design looks very, very cool. Very Persona almost with his mask. His phantom mask. And the use of reds. So what is this? Connie also has little like palms of brown on her. I wonder if that's supposed to be like, I don't know, anything related to... I'm trying to think of anything related to like electricity or outlets or whatever. Maybe like a fuse or something. I'm not sure. But again, character designs are fantastic. Connie and this little character to the side. Then we see, obviously, this is some sort of mini boss or a full-on boss. And it's always fun to see exactly where you need to hit it, which is obviously on the top of the head. Eyes in the mouth is a super fun idea. And we have this amazing bro move. And again, we have Mario and Luigi high-fiving each other, which again seems to insinuate some sort of broship going on. Get a classic red shell move, back and forth. Luigi with a nice little kick here, and we can see like this little circle echo around when he does the kick to really emphasize it. It's flaming now, and then Mario goes boom with this big old hit, and almost like strikers, he goes into like this custom cutscene of him ready to hit, impact frame, boom, hitting it out of the way, and then we transition right into the final scene as the boat flies out. And yeah, the Brothership is an actual ship, in case you guys didn't realize. Very cool to have the cast of a ship be a tree. It's very, very pretty and very fun. Again, real use of turning man-made objects and making them natural or looking like they're naturally occurring. Really cool idea. Then we have the logo Brothership, which seems very professional compared to everything else. Like there's not really much showcase of electricity here, at least in the logo. It seems to be like wood or brick with a like golden river or a golden water inside it, which is sort of interesting. But still very, very, very cool. And again, this logo looks great. Coming out November 17th. And that is my evaluation, analysis, whatever you want to call it, of Mario and Luigi Brothership. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this was interesting. I'm sorry if it wasn't. I was like, I don't know. rambling about art is interesting. Maybe I wasn't that useful. Maybe you guys didn't take anything interesting away. But let me know if you did. Hopefully, maybe I'm beating myself up a bit too hard right now. I did a good job. Come on, guys. I gotta appreciate myself. But yeah, really fun to look through this. It's just interesting to talk about art versus just doing it or thinking about it. So yeah, if you guys want to see me do breakdowns similar to this in other videos, be sure to let me know. But apart from that, I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.